Good morning, everybody. Today we're extremely lucky. We have my friend Emma Vorlin on the show. A year ago, I didn't know Emma. A year ago, Emma didn't know that her life would take this track. Emma is Emma Vorlin, MP. She's a member of Parliament. She represents the seat of Pakenham in Victoria. And I've never known anyone to work as hard as you, Em. But nearly 12 months ago, well, not 10 months ago, in April of 2024, Emma was diagnosed with motor neuron disease. And Emma has become, and these are my words, not hers, in a way, an unwilling representative of MND, because motor neuron disease is a really private family illness. But because of Emma's position, she's been thrust in the spotlight. She's just come off 2 days of filming for a television show. She's always in the media. And while she does it graciously, I don't know that it's necessarily what you want to do all the time. My comment, Emma, not yours. Welcome and thank you. And I'm so grateful that you're here.
Thank you for having me, Jane.
It's very important. So, Emma, I sent you an email about a year ago saying, "Hi, I'm Jane. You've got MND. Bad luck. Talk to me."
Hmm. I haven't had it, I haven't stopped hearing from you since.
So, just to declare up front, Emma and I are in love, and Matt, her partner, is absolutely fine with it. It's not a problem. Emma, you have an interesting story about when you were first diagnosed with MND, and you wanted to keep that a little bit quiet to yourself to digest the information. But some of your family members said, no, we can't do that. Can you take us through that story?
So when I was diagnosed, I sat the children down and I said, this is the news that we're faced with. I would prefer to keep it quiet for a little while, just while I take it all in. And then my daughter said, these are the school holidays. We go back to school next week. Does that mean I can speak to my friends? And I said, no, please don't. Please don't, because once someone knows, it'll be out. And she said, well, I don't think that's fair because I would like to be able to talk to my friends and my teachers. And she said, if we had a preference, we'd rather you just put it out in the open so we're free to talk to others. And so that flipped my mindset a bit and thought, okay, yes, it's not all about me. And what do they need? And they said they needed the support of their friends and teachers. So I went public 4 days after.
How did your colleagues in Parliament respond?
On the same night that I had the diagnosis, after my daughter Sienna had said that to me, I rang the Premier and I told her, what we were facing, and she said, whatever you need, we're here for you. What do you want? Do you want time away? And I said, actually, I want to go public. And she said, when does the timing work for you? And I said, well, my family want me to do it before Monday when school starts. And
No pressure.
she, yeah. So she said, what do you think about Sunday afternoon? Give you some time and you can think about what you want to write before it goes out publicly. And so we did that. And she said, look, you have a big family here at work and we're here to support you any which way we can. And they've been true to that word. My colleagues have been amazing.
And I've witnessed that firsthand, and I concur with that entirely. And I had the opportunity to meet the Premier at a function, and I dragged her aside and grilled her. And I truly believe that she means what she said to you.
Mm.
And in a workplace, regardless of where you work, it's extremely important to have the support of your colleagues
Mm-hmm.
and your boss, really.
Yeah.
Your life has changed immeasurably in the last 12 months. You don't have to tell us all the ways, but tell us how it's changed.
I think the biggest thing is probably my independence and the need to admit that I need help, which is not something I was very comfortable doing. And it's still something that causes me a lot of guilt to have to ask for help in a lot of areas these days. But I think that's part of it. But I've also been open to this M&D community. And how supportive people are that don't even know me. So when I went public, the outpouring of love and support that came my way was incredible. And along that journey, I've met people like you and other local MND sufferers in my area that are quite amazing. So we'll text each other occasionally and say, "How are you going?" And just practical things. So I've learned a lot more about this community and how incredibly important they are for me and my family.
Also, the wider, I noticed from your social media, the wider community has really jumped in to support you,
It's true.
and it's been quite extraordinary.
Yeah, I have had people reach out from not only locally or in the state, but the nation and globally. So there's been a lot of people reaching out, and it's interesting once you're in this world to find out how many people have been affected by this disease. It was really interesting to how many people have said, "Oh, my sister-in-law or my cousin or my friend." And it's just extraordinary because I think before you're in this world, you don't realize how many people have been affected.
It's really 1 or 2 degrees of separation.
Mm.
Um, I usually ask, but I didn't because I got so excited to see you. I usually ask not what you do, but who you are. So who's Emma?
I am a mum of two teenagers, a partner, a sister, a daughter, a friend. I've got a little bug fly in the room. That's why I'm.
It's not an MND convulsion, it's
No,
just a bug.
it's just a bug. Um, I'm someone who really cherishes my community, um, and that was even before I had this role. Uh, I would say I'm, yeah, community connected, and that's me.
Tell me about, because something that's really important to you is read the Rural Fire Brigade.
Mhm. I joined the CFA over 10 years ago uh, at Upper Beaconsfield Fire Brigade, and they were a really big support for me when I had my stroke in 2016.
Yeah, we'll get to
So
that.
they rallied around me then, and again, they are still there. So this is another support network that I can lean on.
Yeah.
And I'm still a member of the fire brigade. I'm just not operational anymore because my hands are useless. And I, like Scott Morrison said, I can't hold a hose. But I still attend the meetings where I can and community events. Yeah, the CFA is something I'm really passionate about and the work that they do, particularly in the bushfire season. We've seen them, just today and yesterday what they're going through.
It's extraordinary. And around your area, there's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
match goes off there. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Now, you just mentioned your stroke that you had in 2016 at the ripe old age of, what were you then? 36 years. So you really had to you had a long fight to come back from that too.
Yeah, and I lost my ability to walk and talk, eat, and drive. So that was, I think, 8 months of rehabilitation to try and learn all those things again. So I guess at that time, that's when I really relied on my daughter because, and I think I'll be relying on her again in the future. When I couldn't speak, she knew exactly what I wanted to say. It was so handy because when I was struggling, she would say to her brother, "Pick up your clothes." I was like, "How does she know what I want to say?" So, yeah, they've stepped in before, and they'll be there again.
Okay. Sorry. The changes that you've made in your workplace in this second illness,
Yes.
you've had to be a real warrior at work for yourself and for other, and I'm going to use this word disabled people,
Mm.
purely because you have so many visitors who come into Parliament House. And that has been surprising to you, I think, and it's been surprising to the public that we have a Parliament House, a public venue hasn't been fully equipped for people with um, difficulties moving and walking. So run us a little through what you've been doing there.
I raised the issue the first day that I got my wheelchair, and I ran through and did a roll around and figured out all the things that were really hard. The Speaker of the House came to me quite quickly when she realised I was in a wheelchair and said, "Emma, what do we need to do?" And I said, "I'm making a list, don't worry." I was in Parliament yesterday and they had made so many changes already to accommodate me before we go back next week. So they put handrails in the chamber to help me get up little
Oh,
steps to my seat. They put
bless.
handles in my office rather than the little knobs that my hands just couldn't open, or when I was
Yep.
trying to open them, I'd cramp.
Yep.
They've changed that. They've taken the soft close off my office door. They have got staff in place now during city weeks to open some heavy doors that they can't change just yet. But
Okay.
I've told them that my priority was getting the disabled toilet behind the chamber next to the library, that I was struggling to get in and I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And I said, and my biggest issue is not for me, it's for people that come to the people's house that are living with a disability. If I'm struggling, and it's been like that for how many years, we need to fix that first and foremost. Don't worry about my handles and this and that. Let's fix the toilet door. So apparently there's a new automatic door
Oh,
on order. So that was my main priority. And as I said, it wasn't so much for me. It was me
oh,
realizing from a different perspective the challenges that people have.
I know that it's not for you. I know that you're doing it for others, but it's interesting when we live our life through a different lens and open our and I just know now that when I walk around down the street and there's someone with a wheelchair trying to cross the street or help people, help them. People
Yeah,
need help. And it's really, if someone's struggling to walk, offer to help. They may say no, but make the offer. It's extremely important.
yeah.
We had a really big weekend here because Neil
Mm.
can't stop crying, Em.
I know. It is so wonderful that Neil Danaher and his family behind him, Jan, have finally been recognised as the Australian of the Year for 2025. I've got goosebumps. I'm so thrilled for them, and it's so well deserved. I know that you and I both had a bit of a cry on Saturday night when we watched him receive that accolade.
It's extremely important for the Danaher family to be recognised, but it's far more important for them that the recognition of MND as an illness is
Yes,
elevated. And Neil being awarded this extraordinary award has elevated
I know he's done it for all of us. Yeah,
for all of us. And he said that in the speech too. People with MND, for carers,
mm,
genetic carriers. And that's just so damn important. And it's important for the general public. But frankly, outside of Victoria, where we're very parochial, it's very important for the politicians and the rest of the country to understand what it's like as well.
yeah,
And the Prime Minister was aware of it because he had a visit from WAS last year.
yes, yeah,
So I'm sure that the Prime Minister was thinking about that on Saturday night, and that's just a
yes.
huge, huge thing for all of us. So I know that a lot of what you had on was booked before, but your profile now is going to increase immeasurably as well.
Yeah, I haven't
How do
done
you
that gently.
how do you feel about that?
I think I realised that very shortly after I went public with the diagnosis. I was expecting, some friends and things to say, "We're sorry to hear," but the amount of people that have reached out for other things, and then meeting people like Finn Cadman, and realising that there's, issues for many people, um, and there's still a long way to go. I thought I need to get out there and try and help. I'm not trying to compare myself to Neil Danaher, but if I can help him in any way to raise the awareness, then I feel like it's my duty to do so.
You're already doing that. For those of you who haven't listened or don't know, Finn Cadman is a 10-year-old child. He's an MND warrior. His grandpa has MND, and Finn is absolutely apoplectically disgusted about the discrepancy between the NDIS and the aged care. And Finn, I think Finn will be our Prime Minister one day, number one. Number two, to have a 10-year-old child who's so invested, so passionate, and so aware.
Mm.
And I've seen him at some of your functions, and he's got more front than Maya, and he knows all of the MPs because you gave him a poster, mate, with all of their faces on
I
it.
know, so he could practice.
And he does practice, and he rocks up to them and he says, "Hello, so and so, I'm Finn." Blah. He doesn't ask how they are, he just gets right in there. And we need more Finns in this world. We
I
really,
know.
really, sorry, something just fell and dropped at my house. We
No.
really, really do. So you're going back to Parliament. Everyone says to me, is Emma going to stop working? Emma is not going to stop working. You may modify your hours a little bit, but you are
I've
very,
still got stuff to do.
oh mate, you've got a lot to do.
I was like, I'm not done yet. And
No.
you're right. Some days I'm more tired than others, and I might have to, you know, uh, perhaps say I can't do 10 events on Saturday anymore. I need to limit it a little bit, just so I can have the energy to eat when I get home. But I'm certainly not done in this space yet. I was saying yesterday, it's also a bit of a selfish thing. It's not just me wanting to work for my community still. It's what my community give to me. So to go out there and meet incredible people and to learn about the wonderful things that are happening, I could either be at home with my partner at work and my kids at school on my own, feeling sorry for myself, or I can
Yeah.
go out and meet amazing people and keep my mind occupied and still advocate for them.
And in life, we all need a purpose. If you don't have if I feel for me, if I don't have a purpose, what's it all for?
Yeah.
Um, Now, I was lucky enough to have a chat with your mum at one point. Can you talk to me about Paul Keating stick posters on your bedroom?
um, when I was a child, I think people my age had 90210 stars and things on their walls, and
Yeah.
I had the Beatles as well, but
Oh, okay, fine.
I had a Paul Keating poster in my room. I think I don't know how old I was. I was under 10.
But you had Bob Hawke there too. Your mum approved of Bob Hawke.
Yeah,
And then she walked in one day, you've got Paul Keating splattered all over your wall. Just,
it's sad, isn't it?
it's really sad, but it makes, I will chuckle about that when I'm walking along the street. So that would say to me that your passion for politics started pretty early.
And it's funny because it did, but I never had a lifelong ambition to be a politician.
Mhm.
Never ever. I've always been around politics. My mother worked for MPs as I was
Yep.
growing up, so we've always been around it. But I never had the desire to be an MP. It was because there was a redistribution. It was my community, and I thought, you know what? If I can make change and help people, I'll put my hand up, give it a go. And it was a very, very close election, so I scraped in by 307 votes. I did work really, really hard on my campaign, but I think I was shocked as anyone to win the seat.
No, it's 2022, yeah?
Yeah.
Before you were in Parliament, you worked as a vet nurse.
Um, Quite a while before. So
Okay.
I worked in electoral offices first, which
Yeah.
is in MPs' offices. So that's when I learned what they all do. And before that, I was a vet nurse.
Why didn't you stay being a vet nurse?
The pay,
Oh, yeah, the pay.
they don't get
Yeah,
paid very well.
they don't. But also
Yeah, which is,
spending, it is appalling, but spending a day with all those beautiful animals,
I know.
that's what I,
And
that's where
now
I'm
with a
getting to.
different type. No,
Oh, yeah.
no, no. No, I shouldn't blame
Two-legged
anyone.
animals.
Everyone's lucky.
Yeah, you're a dag. Okay, so this year you're going off to Caucus School next week,
Oh, tomorrow,
tomorrow, and then when does Parliament go back to sitting?
Tuesday.
Okay. What's on your wish list this year to achieve?
Oh, well, there's some things that I want to do personally,
Yep,
and that's get my life into order.
yep.
I've had every intention since my diagnosis, and some things I keep putting off. I find them emotionally draining, and I sit down and I say, I can't do it today. Hopefully, I can tick some things off that I need to get done. As far as work, I think take each day as it comes, continue to keep fighting. We still need things. You'll never be done. There's always more to be done, and there's always more things that I need to advocate for. People are really struggling with the cost of living.
Yeah, they are.
So, like, there's so many things that aren't MND related also that it's so
Oh,
important that
it's
I
extremely
feel
important.
I need to fight for. Um, so I guess trying to be a better mum, and that's always hard when you feel guilty because you're doing a lot, and then you think actually the kids are number one. And sometimes when you want to make them number one, they'll
They don't
both be
want, they
there.
just
They'll both,
say, no.
yeah. I'm not going out today. I thought we could
Yeah.
hang out. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
sucked
so
in,
the
mum.
teenagers, they're
They're,
the teenagers,
well,
but
I've met them, and I don't know how you could be a better mum, but good luck to you. They're beautiful, beautiful human beings. Do you want to, and you don't have to, but do you want to discuss any things on that list that you have to accomplish that other people who have MND are also thinking about as well?
it's
If you don't want to, then don't.
yeah, no, some of them are things that I just need to do. Power of attorney,
Yeah,
medical attorney, plan my funeral.
yeah.
Uh, um, I need to write the cards that I want to write for my children's milestones, which I found difficult potentially. Oh, sorry, particularly also as my handwriting is getting harder and harder and harder. So it might take me 40 minutes to do one paragraph in a card. So not only is it mentally draining and exhausting, trying to think of the words you want to write for someone for their 18th birthday that isn't here yet, but physically it's exhausting and it's hard. And so I put it off, and each month I put it off. I think I should have done it last month. I think I've done one out of 6 cards, but I'll do one today.
Well, I think you need to have a nap after this, and then you can do one. Tell me, and I am in conversation with Jane Morris and Andrew Denton. They're going to come on the podcast. You've introduced them to me. Thank you. Tell me about your opinion on the dying with dignity and the VAD.
Yeah. I think for me, and I've always believed this ever since year 8 when I did a speech on it, that it's an individual's right to choose. I honestly think that if you don't agree with it, you don't have to do it, but it's up to the person if they are living with terminal illness and they would like to choose voluntary assisted dying, that's a choice for them. I have met with both Jane and Andrew, and there are still some places to go for us. Victoria was the first state to introduce it. And unfortunately, now other states have taken it on, but they've progressed further than we have. I think ours had to be very restrictive and tight in order for them to get it through. I understand that we
Yeah,
had to be conservative, but for us to be, I would say, the most progressive state in the country, it's a shame that we're now a bit too far behind with our VAD laws. And Jane highlighted to me that there's also issues federally. So that's something that I have raised with the federal government. And I've asked them to look at some of the issues that she's raised, but I'm sure she'll talk about them.
she will. Yeah, and I'm not, neither Emma or nor I are looking at this from a political, religious perspective.
No,
We
no,
are looking at this from exactly what Emma said, right to choose. And each of us have the right to choose. And but it is quite tricky in Victoria. And I know from speaking with my colleagues with MND, it's quite a path that you have to beat to get
yeah,
down to get the approval. Yeah.
mm,
But you know,
yeah.
you don't want to cross us bitches because sorry, that was inappropriate. I'm not meant to swear anymore, apparently. I don't know how I'm going to
Forgot about
survive. Yeah, good luck with that. But, um, besides work, which you just talked about, and personal, you're going to have some fun.
the place I love the most is my home.
It's a beautiful home.
If that was the only place I could be forevermore, I wouldn't be that upset. It's that's my happy place. Being with Matt, the kids, um, that's the happiest I am. Yeah. As far as fun, I'm finding at the moment I'm a bit too tired for a lot of fun in between work. Um, my fun is normally curling up on the couch. That's fun.
Okay, so we won't be going dancing. Couple of things I wanted to bring up then is that you went into a wheelchair earlier than you really needed to, but you came to the understanding that your energy, you were expending way too much energy that could have been used somewhere else.
Well, I think the family came up with that. So I was getting to a point where I'd go to work and come home and be so tired and come home at 6 o'clock and say, I don't want dinner, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Then I think it was the OT that suggested perhaps you can conserve energy by doing this and doing that. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for that. And my family said, if it gives you a bit extra time and you can keep up with us, maybe you should consider it. And so we had one for a trial and we went out for the day in the city and we got home and I said, what's for dinner? And Matt said to me, this is what we want you. It's not for you, Emma. It's for us. We get this extra quality time and you're not exhausted and sleeping until, 11 or 12 the next day and you're eating dinner with us and you can keep up with us. Like, it's, yeah. And so that made me think about it differently.
It's a really important message that Phil Camden talks about a lot, in that you have to find different ways to conserve your energy. Um, and I know a lot of people are doing that. It would, I think I remember you telling me that the first day that you went to Parliament in the wheelchair, that was kind of like a message to your colleagues that, oh shit, she does have MND. Oh shit, there is an issue here. Because
Yeah.
up until that point, you were presenting pretty well, really.
I think it
Um,
freaked everybody out.
yeah, that's fair
Yeah.
enough.
In fact, a lot of people saw me in the chair for the first time and didn't make any comment whatsoever. There was so much silence. It was really interesting. They didn't know what to say.
The people who did know what to say, what did they say?
Oh, you need wheels. Can I have a go?
There you go. And for those of you out there listening, it's far better to say something than nothing, because it's obvious. If someone had a new haircut, you would say, "Hey, Em, love the new haircut." But there you are in a wheelchair, and people just walk past and say nothing to you. Also, for your colleagues, I've been with Emma. Stand back and let her through the door. Don't make her stand or sit there and wait to get through the door. A little bit of few little manners we might like to have there.
It's not just colleagues. That happens everywhere.
Yeah, it's rude,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's really bloody rude, Em.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, got me, no, then I got angry and I totally forgot the next question I was going to ask you. Sorry, I get a little bit passionate. Wheelchair. Yeah, no idea what I was going to say next. That's fine. What do you want to say to people who have just been diagnosed or about to be diagnosed?
The journey is different for everyone, and I've tried to be really positive, um, because I felt like for me, I did have a positive story. It's a catch-22. I am lucky because I'm under 65, so I qualify for NDIS. I was lucky that it wasn't hereditary, which made me feel better about myself, which is not the case for everyone. It was better for me because I had a wonderful, calm, and caring partner that would do anything for me and never get angry or whinge at me or make me feel like I'm a burden. So even though I do feel that sometimes, he would never make me feel that way. So I honestly felt like I was really, really lucky. And people say, "You think you're lucky and you've got MND?" And I said, yes, there's so many people that are in different circumstances where it doesn't line up. And I don't blame people for being devastated or feeling alone or angry. And there are days, probably not me feeling angry, more me feeling, well, actually, I get pissed off with my own body.
Yeah, and that's reasonable and understandable.
So when my body keeps cramping or I'm really tired and I had other things to do, or I have to ask Matt, can you please get my water? I just can't get up again. I have this guilt and then I get angry with myself and then I'll burst into tears. And then there's other days where someone will say, how are you, Em? I'm like, I'm okay. No, but how are you really? And then I'll burst into tears and go, I was trying to mask that. And
Yeah.
now I'm a mess. So thanks a lot. So it does vary. And I think I've worked out that it's every 9 days that I'm an emotional mess. But
Okay. So we'll
in that,
diarise that. What day are we at today?
I don't know. I feel pretty good today.
Because, dude, I've got the tissues and we haven't used them.
I've got my tissues
Yeah, I
too.
know. I don't normally have my tissues sitting here. I know what I was going to ask you. What I was going to say is that even though you are in the position that you're in and you're grateful to have the NDIS, I understand that. Making modifications to your home is a challenge, and the timeline is taking quite a long time. And it's imperative that we all be able to um, do the basic human rights, such as shower in your own home. And that's becoming more and more of a struggle for you.
A little bit. We have a two-story house. As as soon as I applied for the NDIS, MND Victoria did help with that process, and it
Yeah.
came through relatively quickly. I was really impressed. So I do have carers that come in for a couple of hours a week at the moment to help, perhaps wash my hair or to make a couple of meals because I can't lift up a pot or cut anything.
Yeah.
So I have been very, very lucky that did come quickly. Yes, you're right. The modifications are taking a bit longer. It takes a long time to get two builders and to get quotes, and then it goes backwards and forwards. So there was a bit of a fear. Originally, I was going to move downstairs from upstairs, but my shower and everything's upstairs. And I figure when they do eventually do the bathroom downstairs, they'll be knocking out the toilet. So I thought as time progresses, I won't be able to get back up the stairs to the toilet or the shower. So perhaps I should stay there and try and do the stairs every day at the moment just to keep me doing it. So it's just, you're wondering about timing and wondering how long you can keep doing that. And there are times that, or one time I've had to sleep on the couch because I couldn't get up, and other times where I've got up on my hands and knees, depending on how tired I am. And then other days I can go up one step at a time and I can manage. So it just depends.
I remember when Tim Fischer was Deputy PM and he had a son who was severely autistic. And he said, if I can't get the help in this country, what hope has anyone else got? So there needs, I don't know who the new NDIS minister is, but no doubt I'll get to know them very well. But this process needs to go far more seamlessly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of waste of money. We could be saving a hell of a lot of money, a lot of time, but also we could be saving people's dignity.
Yeah.
And when we have MND, dignity is something that goes. If you can't wash your own hair and can't cut up your own meal, it makes you feel pretty shit. So it'd be nice to be able to have a shower in your own shower in a timely manner. And I know some people who the process has taken so long that they have to get in their wheelchair, go down the street to a friend or family accessible bathroom to have a shower there. And said I wasn't going to cry. In Australia in 2025, that's just not good enough.
Yeah. I agree. I know that they have made some changes, and I'm at state level, I'm at state
Yeah,
government, not federal, so just
I
so
know
everyone
that. I know everyone knows she's state. It's not her fault. Yeah.
um, I know they have made changes, and I think more needs to be done. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So there's a new NDIS fast track program for people with MND, and that is working well when it comes to communication
Yes.
and putting in place requirements. But when it comes to modifications, it's taking quite a long
Well,
time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we really need to do that. Now it's midday. You have been out all day. You need to eat some lunch, have a rest. You're going to walk around with that makeup all day. Keep it on.
I'm going to keep it on because I've got dinner tonight.
Oh, what's your what's
I
your
don't
dinner?
always have makeup and nice hair.
Yeah. Em's been in hair and makeup today. So she called me and said, I can do the podcast today because I've got hair and makeup on.
Well, if you had seen me on the weekend, I had straw hair out here.
And then I said to her, oh, buggery, can you give me half an hour? Because I've got to go and do mine and put some clothes on.
Yeah. So,
I am extremely grateful to you. I know that this is something that you've been putting off and putting off and putting off, but it's important that people hear what you have to say, the wider community and the MND community. And there's a lot of love for you out there. I mean, I was telling you before that I was at the podiatrist this morning and she said, do you know that girl, Emma? I said, no, I bought the t-shirt. She asked me how you were. When I'm in a situation, people say, do you know Emma? How is she? So, the impact that you have is far greater than you're aware of. And it's
really
it's
fun.
important. You're loved.
Obviously not by everyone, but some.
Well, hang on. I do vote Liberal, so we're not even going to start.
Yeah. Not politically.
Politically, we never have that because someone said to me one night, I was at dinner with you and Matt, and we were talking about something, and we just steer that conversation right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I don't vote anybody at the moment. I mean, I will vote because it's my
It's
constitutional
compulsory.
right. But yeah, I know it's compulsory. But yeah, I haven't got anyone to vote for at the moment. But that's okay. Not a problem. I love you. I thank you.
Um,
And
I thank you, Jane, not just for today, but for being there for me, not just me, and for Matt and the family ever since very early in the diagnosis. You have been there, and unfortunately, we learned from you from your sad loss of Robert, and I'm sorry for that. But I also thank
we weren't going to cry.
you. Almost.
We always cry. We're pathetic. I want to give a shout out to Matt, Emma's partner. What she said before, I've never met a calmer, more caring, loving man. You struck out with that one. He is
I know.
extraordinary.
I know.
Mm,
Amazing man.
he is an amazing man. Love sneaks up on us.
Yeah. Yes.
That's just between you and me. All right. I love
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Well, guess we
Bye.
have. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, darling.